Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lead Change Empowerment Podcast, where we empower you in your now and lead the change you want to see in yourself and others. Without further ado, here to serve you, your host, Mr. Steve Robinson.
Welcome, Lead Changer community. I am Steve Robinson, and as always, I am super grateful for each and every one of you who listens to the show. For those of you who are listening for the first time, I welcome you to the Lead Change Empowerment Podcast, where we discuss life topics from personal to business and assist you with to lead the change you want to see in yourself and others. A new show does release every Monday and Thursday, and every now and then I'll drop another one during the day, just depending on how I feel during the week. If I come up with something I feel is valued, it'll help you out. Hey, if it can't wait till Monday or Thursday, I might as well put it out then, so I'll release it then. So if you haven't heard already, please subscribe to your favorite listening device, whether it's through iTunes, Spreaker, SoundCloud, and now we are on iHeartRadio. I'm glad about that. We're on iHeart. Oh, I was reviewing my downloads the other day and checking the demographics of where the people who are listening, where they're from, and things of that nature. And I'm finding out, I want to send a major shout out to the people in Australia, the listeners in Australia and Canada. Thank you. I haven't learned how to do the little hand clap, the little background thing for the hand clap yet, but I'll get to it as I continue to learn this stuff. So without further ado, with this episode, I will share with you how to stay motivated when people criticize you. We all know what that's like. People are forever criticizing. You're always going to run into people who criticize you. Criticism and skepticism are what many of us, whether you're an entrepreneur, a startup, inventor, first-time owner, newlywed, to be, any dream chaser who sets out to create something what they believe in, you will hear some of these things. I've heard 8 out of 10 businesses fail. Is this a temporary thing, or will you get a real job? You know, over 50% of marriages end in divorce. Do you think that you're good enough to do that? There are a lot of people already doing what you want to do. That's a good dream that you have there. It's kind of big. You probably should make it smaller so you can accomplish it. Man, I've heard for myself, even for just me, when I first got into speaking, I had a friend of mine, and he didn't mean anything by it, but he was like, do you think people will pay to hear you speak? And when I tell you, it was like, wow, did he really just say that? I was like, okay, you know. And I took it as something, and this is when I first got started, because I was just saying what I wanted to do. But, hey, then I also with the book, now, you know, I have a book out called Prayer, Patience, Progress. It is available on Amazon.com, or you can go to SteveRobinsonTheSpeaker.com. But the question was asked, do you think the book will sell, or who's going to buy the book? What about the podcast? Now I'm in episode 6. This is episode 6. Today is October the 6th. Oh, quick shout out to my son, Malik Robinson. He's turning 13. Well, he turned 13 today. So happy birthday to him. And one of the statements he said was, Dad, my voice about to change. And I'm saying, son, it's not about to change today. You know, I don't think it's going to change today. And he said, yeah, my voice will probably change today. And I said, okay, well, you know, if you believe it, so be it. I didn't want to get the negative criticism that I'm talking about other people having now. But, yeah, so different things like that. Quick shout out to him. But what's a podcast? That was the first thing. When I said I want to do a podcast, I said, well, what's a podcast? A lot of people don't know what a podcast is. And then you hear, well, will people listen to your podcast? I mean, there have been many things that have made people quit from these statements. A lot of people, if it's not that statement, it's something similar to it. But I really like something that Les Brown said. Les Brown, I used to listen to him. I still listen to him a lot. When I first started, I used to just YouTube everything Les Brown. And one thing that he said that stood out to me and still does, he said the graveyard is the richest place on earth because it's here that you will find all the hopes and dreams that were never fulfilled. The book that was never written, the song that was never sung, the inventions that were never shared, the cures that were never discovered, all because someone was too afraid to take that first step, keep with the problem, or determined to carry out their dreams. And that's what criticism can do. It's a dream killer. These comments come from friends, families, colleagues, and some from people who meant no harm. They just never dreamed themselves, gave up on their dreams, or possibly fear choked them out. And that is what they say, they try to pull your confidence. Well, that can be a confidence and motivation killer for you. And so it's times like this I felt that, I was walking up a mountain. You feel like, when you're trying to create something different, it's like I'm walking up a mountain of quicksand and there's nobody there to reach out a hand to you. Was I scared of this stuff? Yes. In the beginning, I was scared. I didn't know the success. How would I be successful? When would you be successful? When will you make it? What do you consider to be success? And you are scared, sure thing, But like the saying, I like a saying that goes something like this: there is no failure except in no longer trying. So what I want to do today is share with you a few nuggets that can help you stay motivated when people criticize you. And the first one is this: know your mission. I knew what I wanted. I wanted to become an empowerment speaker because it's something I'm passionate about. I wanted to empower others. I get excited about teaching, helping people identify, their why and trust the process and help them achieve it. And anytime a critic made a second guess or second guess my decision or made me second guess my decision, I had to recall the why and remind myself that this is what I've been called to do. This is what I feel I'm called to do. So no one can tell you that. So in the first one, clearly state what it is that you want. Clearly state what you want to accomplish and why. And in order to stay motivated, your reasons must match your core values and passions. And I'm going to tell you what you got to do. Write it down. Write down your mission. Post it wherever you can see it, especially during tough times. Mahatma Gandhi said, a small body of determined spirits fired by an unequable faith in their mission can alter the course of history. And that's all it takes, is just a small body of determined spirits, just have a little bit of determination to get it. And the thing I'm going to tell you is, listen, don't repeat. I'm telling you, listen, don't justify your goal. You don't have to justify your goal. And I repeat that, do not justify your goal. The more I tried to explain why I was pursuing my goal, the less confident I felt about my own ability to succeed, and the more enthusiasm suffered. And a lot of times it's because, you have a gut feeling that you want to do something, but then the brain comes in and causes all the doubt. So you got a feeling about something, right? You really want to do it, but then here comes the brain talking about, well, how are you going to pay for that? Or who's going to hire you to speak? Who do you want to speak to? Or who's going to buy your book? Who's going to listen to your podcast? That is a big one. Like, you can't get caught up into that, justifying your goal. What you need to do, you just focus on how to achieve what you desire, rather on how to get the external approval from other people. You're looking for outside people to approve what it is you want. It doesn't happen. And here's the big one, as I was talking about before. Don't reveal too much too soon. Sometimes you get so excited about the new venture that you want, you can't resist telling everybody that you talk to. You want to tell every single person you run up on, hey, this is what I'm about to do. I'm up on this next. I'm going to do this. And I've learned super fast that I had made a mistake, because the returned enthusiasm or encouragement I thought I was going to get, it's more like, how are you going to do that? Or how much does it cost? And so there again creeps in fear. There again creeps in doubt, because it's like, well, I don't have the money to attend this conference, or I don't have the money to go do this, or I don't have the funds to create this. And, reality will show you that many times people in your life will find fault and warn you to be careful, or tell you a story. Everyone has a story of someone else who failed at a similar ambition. I know someone else who tried that didn't work for them. So if you want to derail your motivational train, especially when you haven't had the momentum built up yet to withstand these criticism bumps, don't tell everyone. Make sure you don't tell everyone. In the beginning of the stages of your goal, just journal them. Keep it to yourself. Let your confidence build in sharing. You will find one or two people or a couple. You know who you can and can't tell. If someone is a supportive, kind of like-minded person, that you can find that. You'll be able to tell them what's going on. Another thing to do to help you stay motivated when people criticize you, this is very important. Expand your social circle. begin to find ways to expand your social circle. You will notice that some friends and family will be very critical, and it's simply because their interests and their background are a little opposite of what yours are, what you believe, and that is okay. Understand me. It's okay for someone not to believe in what you have, and you have to understand that comes with it. I decided to meet new people who would relate to some of my interests, offer encouragement and provide useful insights. Get a coach or a mentor. That's very important. I know every book I read or everything that I study is always about, get a coach, get a mentor, get a coach, get a mentor. And you didn't know how to do that. Seek out those who are most likely to support you. Attend the workshops, networking events, go to different meetings. Join a mastermind group. Join a mastermind group or work to create one yourself. Find out, do some research on a mastermind group. I work on a support group. And I made that's major key. A support group is very, very, very important. Now, as I started, and I'm not nowhere near where I want to be yet or where I'm going, but as I started with mentors. These people didn't know that I was their mentee, but they were my mentors. I just read their books, their posts. I follow them on Twitter. I've watched all of their YouTube. And just the name of some people, I consider myself a student of like Dr. Carol Dweck. She's the author of Mastermind. Inky Johnson, who's a motivational speaker. Stephen Covey, Lewis Howes, Steve Harvey, Miles Monroe, Bishop Dale Bronner, Zig Ziglar, Miss Marlana Mobley, Sam Crowley, Patrick Patterson, Tim Ferriss. Now, some of those people I have met and I do, talk to on a regular. Brian Buffini, Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone is wild. That's my guy. You got to look him up. John Lee Dumas, that's who helped me get through to start the podcast. I just started searching the free information he had on YouTube. Gary V, Grant Baldwin, Rob Dial. The list goes on. It's a lot of people that I could say that was kind of like basically mentored or coached me to where I am now. And I'm sending them all thank you letters because it helped. It does help to have someone that's on your team or you can kind of follow after. And another thing that you need to do to help when people are criticizing you, spend time alone. Now, yes, I did just talk about getting a social circle because that's important. But also you have to find, you will find time for yourself. You have to find that more time that you spend alone, the more you can answer some of the biggest questions you have. And one of my mentors had told me that in the beginning. She said, Steve, it's going to be time. You need to spend time alone. Whether it be meditation, just quiet time, you need to recharge yourself. And the more I began to do that, just like turning off any type of technology, just chill for a minute, just relax, get your thoughts together. No, nothing. I'm talking like this is what I'll do. Kind of in the morning, you'll just sit and listen. I listen to the birds chirp, feel the wind up against your body those are real important, and you're not thinking about anything, and you do it early enough to where it's just you. And I'm going to do an episode on recharging, spending time by yourself and talking about meditation. So yeah, now I'm not saying go in a cave for 2 weeks. If you just take like 10, 20, 30 minutes to an hour away from your technology, away from the different things that's going on, just spending time by yourself and stay away from other people, you'll get a peace of mind. And it's a peace of mind that's needed to create that winning game plan that you have. You will feel eager to move forward with your plan of action. Albert Einstein has said the monotony and the solitude of a quiet life stimulates the creative mind. That is so key. Like I talk about major keys, that is another major key. Just the monotony and the solitude of a quiet life stimulates the creative mind. You'll be amazed at some of the things that you come up with as you just, spend time by yourself, spend time alone, see things that for what they really are. And the best remedy for you can do that. So now we're going to move on to the next step, the next key or the next nugget to keep for you is seek out those who have succeeded in achieving a similar goal or to what you have, kind of similar to what you have or kind of the same thing along the same line. The best remedy for you can't do that scenario, you're going to get that. You can't do that or that's not going to work. The best remedy for that is have a story of victory. Find the stories of victory. Find the stories of people who done something maybe that you're trying to do. Or there's so many success stories. If you read about the guy who created Uber, if you read about the guy who created Amazon, there's so many success stories out there. And it's not saying that yours will not be next. It's just a matter of sticking to it. But the beautiful part about it is you can see that somebody else has been through it. I've been studying some of the top speakers, the top podcasters in the industry, and I take notes from them. I don't try to be them. I just learn from them. Here's the thing about it. You can't reinvent the wheel. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. You can't reinvent the wheel. The wheel's already been invented. And if you're trying to do that, then you're going to waste time. It's just an unnecessary amount of time you're trying to do to recreate something that's already there. You just take what you can learn from it and add what you have. Sign up for training programs and let those who are successful in what you want, be the motivation. And you do this, I'm going to tell you, okay, how about this for today? I want to ask all of the Lead Changer community to do this today. Make a list of 5 to 10 people who have achieved a like-minded goal, and learn from them. Just like I'm sure, they were criticized as well before they got to where they are. I'm sure Steve Harvey was criticized. You can hear the stories about that. Gary Vee was criticized. I'm sorry to Tony Robbins. I mean, anyone that I've they've all been counted out. Pretty much, they've all been counted out. So you could take that and learn. And I'm gonna tell you this: the last part of this, how to motivate yourself when people criticize you. Celebrate the small successes. Celebrate them. Celebrate all the success. Celebrate your small successes. Put the time into it. Celebrate the small successes. I have a little journal of small wins that I try to update it at the end of each week or sometime during the week. I keep track of like new people I may have connected with, someone I may have met at a conference or something I went to. Hey, I make sure that I email them and tell them it was a pleasure to meet you. Look forward to talking to you again. Any that like a training, like I love to go on the internet. I found out there's so much free stuff on YouTube and the internet. When I put my book together, and this is no lie, I had called a couple people. Now there's 1 or 2 people that I could say really helped me with no questions asked that had already put a book. But you were calling people, and they were like, "Well, that's kind of hard. You're not going to be able to do this. You might have to do this before." And I just started Googling and YouTube and all of it on how to put the book together. I hashtag anything that I'm trying to find out. The creator of the avatar for this, who created my design for the Lead Change Empowerment podcast, I wanted cartoon art. So I hashtag cartoon art. He's actually in Australia. That's my guy. He's actually in Australia who did that. The same way with the book cover, I hashtag book covers. I hashtag editing, all of those things like that. Now, I did have a editor who did a lot of that for me, and she did a great job. So there's a lot of things that you can go on the computer and find out for yourself. But you keep those small wins, the gratitude book that I do every morning. The gratitude book, I learned this from a partner of mine, my brother Reggie, had talked about. We had put on one side of the page, you put what you're grateful for now, and on the other side of the page, you're grateful for what will be. And see, I started this in June, so I do it every day. Every morning I get up, I do it's a small journal. And as I begin to look at some days you'll have that where it feel like nothing is happening and you're not making it, I look back at that journal. And if you start back in like June, July, and you look down and some of the things that you're grateful for that was supposed to be in like the far future, you can mark off. And I'm like, wow. The whole thing, even with the podcast, I had the podcast on there to start the Lead Change Empowerment podcast. I think I was calling it something else then, but that's marked off. The number of people I wanted to view it, the number of people like those are, and you start to see that, man, you made it, that, hey, I accomplished, I made that. So I encourage you to do that. Make a note of all your successes, small or large, even the ones that seem that they're insignificant. Even with, I do it with books because I try to read a book a week. And this is something I learned, a friend of mine, a fellow author, Brother Aramith, who is the author of Homeless to Homeowner, how to break down a book in a week. Because he'd be like, I just read another book, 2 books this week. And I'm like, how did you do that? And what he had told me is take the number of pages in a book, divided by 7, or how many ever days you want to read it in. And that's how many days you got to read. That's how many pages you must read each day. So I started doing that and was amazed at how fast I was going through books. I was reading so many books, and it became fun. So I still do it to this day. And at the end of the week, like now I'm finishing up another book and getting ready to go into another one. It's like, well, I want to finish it by Saturday. So I got to increase the pages from maybe 20. I think if I put it up to 26, if I make it 26, then I'll get it done this week to be able to start another book on Sunday. So always celebrate your small wins. Keep those. Something simple as cleaning up the inbox is a small win. You know you've seen people's phones who has, you might be able to see how many emails they have on there, and they got like 240, and that's not necessary. You don't know what's good and what's bad, but a small win is cleaning it up. And days when you're not motivated, you go down, read the log, realize how much you've accomplished, and it makes you feel good. So keep track of your achievement, even the ones that seem insignificant. A small win today can have a tremendous impact tomorrow. And criticism, like I said, is one of the major motivation killers. But if you're prepared, you won't be a victim. I want to tell you, stay focused with the end goal in mind and embrace the process as you make it to where you want to be. And as always, I will end each session with the same way that I do the title of my book, Prayer, Patience, Progress. In that order, have a wonderful, wonderful, super marvelous day.